Hi, I'm Eric. This is my wife Gina, my son Riker. We are Narrow Road Van Conversions, and we're super excited to do a walkthrough of our brand new 2019 Ram ProMaster. Why don't you come on in and take a look around. We've got two swivel seats. It's an off-center swivel, so it gives you a little bit more room. We've got some extra storage up top here, which is kind of your standard storage in a ProMaster 3500. One of the things we used to maximize was the seating area. So we've got both seats, of course, swivel. This would kind of be great dual space for driving and sitting and eating and enjoying a meal together. This also would swivel out for some extra prep area in the kitchen. It rotates right back in to its spot. It can lock down. It's a Lagoon swivel table. Lots of storage in here. We've got full depth upper cabinets that pivot up on hydraulic shocks. We've got a kind of a wardrobe or for hanging clothes area here. Closet, full depth. 3 full depth drawers that fully come out on here, so lots of storage. And we've got a propane heater here for heating and temperatures such as this. Moving up, we got a refrigerator here. So we've got a full refrigerator and a full freezer. So you can have ice cream, because that's important on your travels, to be able to have the finer things. And we also have a locking bungee here with a ball that locks into the refrigerator, so when you're driving down the road, you don't end up with a gallon of milk spilt all over the floor. So that keeps that shut and tight. Moving backwards on this side, we've got a full shower. So in here we have hot water, cold water in the shower. We've got a toilet, and in this particular one we chose to do a urine diverting toilet. We could of course do any kind of toilet, a cassette toilet or a composting toilet in here, but this is a dual purpose toilet. One of the things that we did that's a little bit different than most areas, in the shower area, we've got full 1/2-inch PVC. Is the whole shower is made out of that. So it's not that thin plastic stuff that you see in RVs. It's a thick PVC, and everything in here is made out of that. So nothing's going to rust or corrode or tarnish. Everything in here is stainless steel. The 500-pound brackets that the toilet sits on are stainless steel, so nothing is going to corrode. We've got a shower door that's self-retracting and self-cleaning shower door. So that saves space on that side. Moving around the corner here, we've got a bench seat that helps you jump up and get into bed. The bed is a fixed bed. And I'll show you a little bit more about that later. So the bench can come out, and you've got a lot of space down in there, and even all the way back up underneath for storage. Again, lots of space, all utilized for whatever you might be storing, taking along. And above that, we got another full-length drawer to store some stuff. Full-length drawer below the oven. And we have a propane oven here also. So it's important to be able to cook some brownies or some cookies when you're on the road. You can't suffer without brownies and cookies. And then there's a cooktop, and this swivels up, the countertop does, to expose the cooktop. Again, this is a propane cooktop. It latches up here also, so if you're moving, and it won't accidentally come down, fall down, and smash down. In here behind this, we've got some magnetic spice racks for cooking, and the storage and compartments up above. I had these fold down. So the thought behind that was that you could have your spices or other cooking utensils, because I know when you're cooking there's always a big demand on counter space. So we've got this for some extra storage. You can put stuff up here while you're cooking. We've got the sink cutting board that fits in there also for extra space when you're not using the sink. Pretty good size, deep sink, so for doing dishes. Again, hot and cold water. Next to it, we've got purified drinking water. It's a 3-stage filter. On the drinking water, I guess now is a good time to talk a little bit more about the water. We've got a 33-gallon freshwater storage tank, and all this drains down into a 13-gallon gray water tank. So everything drains into that. And up here, we've got a light switch above the oven, so which is nice because without having to have all the lights on, you can just have one light that you can have on if someone's sleeping and trying to get some rest back here. Right next to it here, we've got the battery monitor. This is the information station on all the electric. It really gives, it's your main brain of how the charging happens, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. The next button right over here next to that is the gray water tank that I was talking about. This is a ball switch, ball valve, that when you click it, it electronically opens and you can drain the gray water tank wherever you feel responsibly you can dump it. So you don't have overfills of that with the 33 gallons coming in and 13 holding for the out. So underneath the sink, we've got cabinets. Got our water filtration, 3-stage water filtration system under here. So we got your 3-stage water filtration system tucked under here, and really tried to tuck everything back far so there's plenty of space for a garbage can or whatever else you might want to utilize in here. Now might be a good time to tell you about the cabinet faces. Everything in here is custom cabinetry, nothing standard. Cabinet faces here are all a stacked wood that's custom made. The outside frames are hickory, so they're real solid door. Everything else is 3/4 inch solid plywood, so really solidly built. It was really built with obviously lots of vibration in mind, and the moving and the jostling that comes along with driving down the road. I talked a little bit earlier about how we tried to utilize a lot of space. Everything is secured to the frame of the van. I know a lot of people fur things out. I went with actually going through a lot of trouble to connect everything to the framework of the van, which again maximizes your extra space. Really important when it comes to the bed, because these vans are not very wide, and we can sleep sideways in this van compared to other vans where you usually have to sleep forward and backwards. So a full-size queen mattress, and again you can sleep sideways, so that saves you a little bit of extra space here so you can have some storage. We got 3 big storage bins in the back, 2 more storage bins up above the oven area for that. Back here, everything are on hydraulic, and these are again our full depth cabinets, all secured to the frame of the van, so we're really utilizing all the space that's available in here. The main light switch is right here on your way into the van. When you're coming up, you can just tap it, turns the lights on, tap it, turns it off, back on, and then you press and hold it and it will dim to whatever setting you want, all the way down to 10%. You can hold it and it brightens right back up to 100%. All right, a little bit more about the electrical system. The lights, we've got a light in the shower. We talked about the light above the stove. The light above the shower, it's got its own switch inside the shower. It's lighted, so at night you're not searching for the light switch. It's also waterproof, so it can be in the shower. That goes on and off in there. A little bit more about the electrical. We have a fantastic vent fan in the ceiling, and I've got the remote control around here, so on a hot night, summer night, you can grab the remote control right next to the bed, and you can hit the automatic open and fan. So automatically opens, automatically closes. It's got a thermostat on it, so at night if it starts out real hot, you can set the thermostat on it and it will slow the fan down throughout the night so it doesn't freeze you out. Everything's automatic. It's the top of the line fantastic vent fan. So the bed will pivot up so that you can have it facing out the back. You can sit up in bed and look out the back, whether it's the ocean view or a drive-in movie. You could sit and enjoy that. There's these legs here that are up in a locked position. Press the button, rotate them out into the locked out position. They come down and catch here on the frame so that you're locked in the upright position, nice and safe. This is also where you can look in and access some of the electrical components. You can see our DC fuses there, so if you had to change a fuse, it's all readily accessible from inside. If you ever had any work done on the van, you've got your main on and off power right here. Watch, I can click and that cuts all the power to the entire van in the back. You can see the green, there's an inverter charger there too. We haven't talked about the electrical system quite yet, but that runs all the 110 volt outlets around here. So again, we have 110 volt and 12 volt DC run throughout the whole van. There's 4 batteries that power all the electrical components, 4 100 amp hour batteries. The inverter and the charger is one of the methods. Well, that's what makes the 120 AC that runs all the outlets, but it also is a charger. So there on the outside we'll show you a plug-in where you can plug into shore power, and that will charge your batteries, and also then that will run all the outlets on the inside. So that's one of the ways to charge the batteries. There's 2 other ways to charge the batteries, which we haven't taken a look at yet. Up on top, we've got 3 100 watt solar panels up there. So those are constantly charging the batteries. Right now they're charging it in a bright sunny day. The third way to charge the batteries is the vehicle alternator. So when the vehicle's running, it has a voltage sensing relay in it that senses when the cranking battery is up and full power. It then sends the current back to our 4 batteries back here, then charging the batteries. So when you're running around, you're charging your batteries, and it keeps everything up topped off so you can run all the electrical components. The inverter charger, by the way, is 2500 watts, so you can run Vitamix, it runs quite a bit. It'll also run up to 4500 watts for 60 seconds. So if you have something that spikes when you turn it on, it can run a lot more, but it can consistently run at 2500 watts. You have an issue with something, it's all right here, right on top. You can see all the plumbing in here. If anybody ever needs to access it, figure out what's going on, maintenance, anything, very easy to get in and out. We've got valves up here for air compressor to plug into to purge the system for winterizing. So being up here in Minnesota, that's one of the things that's important to me. Having built a lot of cabins and done a lot of plumbing in cabins, I know a lot about winterizing small spaces. So we've got PEX tubing, which again is very freeze resistant and easily winterized water system here. So if you're just running for the weekend, you can turn it on, turn it off. So we've got the steps, a ladder here that's expandable that you can use to climb up in the back. You can also set that up and climb up on the top where there's a full-size deck, 12-foot deck up there and full width for sitting up, setting your lawn chairs out. And only the front 42 inches of the upper deck is the solar panels. So a couple other things that are nice in this bedroom area is we have these awning windows that open up. Really nice on those hot summer days when you can have the roof vent sucking in, and this will blow in across the bed on this side and across the head side of the bed also. So that'll be a great air conditioning in the hot summertime. Over here you've got your 12 volt outlets for charging your phone. There's one on this side and there's one on the other side because everybody always has to charge their phones at the exact same time. I think that's a rule. Back here we've got some reading lights up here too, so when you're sitting up in bed you've got some reading lights for reading a book and looking out the back. We talked about how you can open it from this side, but you can lift it up, put these legs both down here, and it goes back down into the bed area. So we've got this shelf over here in the corner, which is a nice place to store your phones and your keys when you're sleeping, so everything's nice and safe, where you know it is. Where it is, you got regular household outlet here for charging your laptop or phones. Also a 12-volt outlet for charging phones. Up here we have the remote for the ceiling vent that we demonstrated earlier. We've got the heating thermostat for the heater. Below that we got the safety carbon monoxide detector and propane detector. Same thing on this side. They come up and it's got a couple of legs that lock out into a sort of reclining position there. So you can face forward at night. When you're sitting up in bed, you could have a ceiling mounted television or iPad holder to watch movies at night and sit up and settle in before bed. So we can take this ladder, collapses down on its own and clicks up and stores right in here. So you don't have people, you know, instead of having a permanent ladder on the outside where people, when you're remote camping, you know, climbing up and down. This keeps everything nice and safe. So back here on this side is where all the plumbing is. Again, I made some easy access areas trying to get in so you can see things or operate things or winterize. And there's the water heater. You can kind of see the water tank up and in there. We've got hot and cold water back here, so you could open this up too. There's another latch. This comes out here. You can plug this in and hang this up and take an outdoor shower if you want, or you can hose off your mountain bike, your motocross bike, wash your dog, anything. So that's nice and easily used. So hot and cold water there. Again, easy winterization for draining here. Again, along the theme of utilizing the space, you can see that there's a lot of space up here for storing things. These 1/4-inch thick iron L-frames are real strong. Lots of storage back here. Plenty of room for, you could even slot a mountain bike in and out of there. So lots of storage space. Well, thanks for taking the tour with us. This is kind of our model home. If you'd like to have us custom build a van for you, we'd love to do that.